Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. Actually, let me skip right into the champ select because we are already in the ban phase here. The champ select happening in our front of our own eyes at the moment, and today is going to be a very important game here because this is going to be the difference between if we have to play the relegations or if we're safe for next season. And I don't know actually if there's a chance we can still make playoffs, but because we are currently at 5 wins, we could go 7-7 and then maybe there's a chance we can still make it. I think it's possible. Yeah, it is definitely possible. We definitely have to go. We definitely have to go 2-0 today to make it. So a 2-0 would be very good. I'm not sure how the tiebreak is going to be because the other 7-7 team at the moment is Be Charitable, and we lost 0-2 to them, which means we would have a bad head-to-head to them. So if that's the decider, then unfortunately we wouldn't make playoffs. But even more important, at the moment, the bottom 2 teams in the group are both on 4 wins at the moment, and we are at 5 wins. So if they go 2-0, that means we are suddenly at the bottom of the scoreboard. So getting at least 1 win here, preferably 2 wins here, is going to be very important if we want to keep ourselves away from those relegation series and save ourselves from that bit of extra stress. So let's hope the boys are locked in today and they can get some W's on the board here. I hope you guys in chat got some energy for the guys as well, because they're going to need your support as well. I'm going to give it my all, that's for sure here. It might be kind of hot outside, you know, I might be sweating in my room. My voice might be dying, but I will be screaming here. I'll be bringing in the hype, and hopefully we're going to have a fun journey along the way. But let's put our attention here on the draft here. An early virus pick here, Zinzel locked in, very strong jungler. We can already see that Jungle Pool being pinched in the ban phase here, the Wukong and Naviri banned away. On the other side, some of those mid laners being banned away that are pretty strong right now. The Azir, the Syndra. So let's see what the players want to round out this comp with. And we also got a Viego, that's always going to be an interesting pick, right? Because the Viego wants to get those resets in the team fights. So let's see what Pandaric wants to draft around this. The Thalia, a very strong pick in the mid lane as well. And with some of those mid laners being banned away right now, we'll have to see what the answer will be into this Thalia. And the annoying part about Thalia is she's really good at shoving in the wave. So you kind of want to have something that can maybe match it. There we go, we get the Soap Z locked in early as well. Picking it into the Gwen here, which is left open at the moment. The Gwen is a very strong top laner in this current patch here, so let's see if Soap can match it with the Zed in top side. And you know, Zed's level 1, definitely not to be messed with either. And we know Soap will gladly go for those early fights as well. So already I'm seeing the Gwen Zed top lane matchup. It's going to be very spicy. I'm expecting a lot of fighting on early at the top side, and you know, it's definitely going to be a very volatile lane where it can go wrong very quickly for either side here. Because if your top laner is going to fall behind and you know you can freeze the wave and that kind of stuff, it's going to be very tough to come back into the game. So already keeping my eye out on that one. And let's see where these teams want to go into the second ban phase here. Another opportunity to ban more mid laners here, so Atomic now is going to have to dig deep into the champ pool here. I was already thinking about the way he has played it a lot. Maybe a Victor is possible still, but could also be banned away here still. And with Thalia being such a strong mid laner and a lot of these mid laners being banned away, that could be a tough matchup depending what Atomic is gonna pick here. But we'll have to see and wait for now. On the other side, some supports being banned away to make sure Soap, or excuse me, Senny can go his way with the Varus. And we'll have to see if this is going to be a poke virus or if this is going to be on hit. Nowadays we see a lot of poke virus in pro play. But then again, I feel like Senny is more the type of player to go for the on hit. He likes to go for the kiting in the team fights, playing on the edge. On the brink of life. Red Strike next to him. A very deadly duo here in the bot lane. Greetings from SVW. Thanks for the stream. No worries, man. Enjoy the games. And let's make it a banger here. The final game of the season as well. At least for us it is. So let's see if we can make for some good entertainment here. And already Lelouch locked in here. Now normally you get the Braum locked in with that. Or the Nami, which is still available. Those are very strong pairings with Lelouch here. And it's going to make it a very tough bot lane here as well. Now Varus, Leona, obviously not to be messed with either. Once again, we're going to have to see what the keystones are going to be here for Sani. And if he's going to go for that poke or the on hit. But for now we can only speculate. And I feel like in some sense this could be similar to the composition we had on Thursday. But then we had the Naviri in the jungle. And kind of the idea was we would poke them down and then the Naviri can go in. Okay, we're gonna get the Orianna here. I think actually this exact same matchup was played yesterday in the finals from MSI, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe taking a page out of that book. I think that matchup went pretty even here. You know, the Orianna can definitely clear out those waves pretty easily as well. Doesn't kind of have the same roam potential as the Taliyah, obviously. But that's going to be difficult to match either way, no matter which mid laner you're going to pick. So best you can do is match up the shoving power of the Taliyah and then see if you can control the vision around mid lane so that you're, you're aware where this Taliyah is moving and where she can potentially deploy the ultimate. So we'll have to see how that is going to work out here in the mid lane. The bot lane is going to be a pretty... I mean, if I'm looking at this, I feel like we're gonna get peak content here, because like every lane wants to fight, except maybe mid lane, that are more going to just like shove out waves and just teleport back into lane after you run out of mana, and basically repeat that. But yeah, the top lane should be an absolute banger. The Sett versus Gwen matchup is going to be very nice to watch. And then on the bot lane, we got Lucian and Varus, like two laners that really wants to assert dominance in lane, or at least. Obviously, I don't know how the SVW Esport bot lane likes to play, but from Sani and Red Strike, I know they like to be aggressive. They like to be in your face. And, these champions can definitely do that, right? So it's going to be very nice to see. And then we have the team fights. I feel like there's a lot of skirmishing power here on the side of SVW with the Xin Zhao and the Gwen. The Hollowed Mist here from the Gwen is going to be very annoying. Same for that Xin Zhao ultimate. Kind of forces you to play close range. Now the Viego, the Leona, and the Zed are going to be very comfortable with that. But then you're missing your damage from your Orianna and your Varus. So that can be a bit annoying. So if you can bait those out early and kind of, kite them backwards, that would be optimal. Or maybe you can instantly kill someone at the start if you catch them off guard. That is also an option, obviously, with the Solar Flare from the Leona. The Chain of Corruptions from Varus are all tools that you can use to just lock down one target and instantly get the kill. Get the Viego reset on the ult as well. And on that way you can get the team fights rolling. That is kind of what Pandaric are looking for here. Obviously you also have the Shockwave, and honestly there's not a lot of tanky members right on the side of SVW. So that Shockwave could be very, very impactful in the team fights. But then on the other hand, we have a Lucian here, who is, it's going to be difficult to lock down, right? You have the Melia who can cleanse some of that CC, so the Solar Flare can basically be neglected in that sense. And then you also have the dash in your kit, you get some cooldown reduction in late game. And a very quick blade is going to allow those dashes to come off cooldown very, very quickly. And you got yourself a very, very mobile and deadly AD carry on the side of SVW. And yeah, like I said, you have the Xin Zhao ult and the Hallowed Mist from the Gwen as well, which are going to be very difficult to deal with on the side of Pandaric. So we'll have to see how that is going to pan out in the game. And then we also have the Taliyah who can just go for the shoves, get the ultimate out, and join into the skirmishes. It's going to be even more difficult for Pandaric to deal with the skirmishes early on, around the fights, around the Dragon, around the Grubs, around the Herald. I feel like that's where SVW Esport are going to be very deadly. Once they get their first item in the bag, the Taliyah can instantly shove the wave. And then just go group up with your team, go take your objectives, go for dives. That is where there's a lot of playmaking potential here for SVW Esport. So we're gonna see how they're gonna utilize that Taliyah in the mid game. But, you know, my game is loaded up. The AD carry disconnected apparently, so that is a bit of a bummer. But my game is already loaded up, so let's say, without me yapping too much here about the champions, let's just see how they're gonna play in the game. And get a first-hand experience here on this banger matchup. But of course, first the pulse. That's how we like it here in esports. And there we go, we get the unpause coming through. And then the classic freeze. But soon we should be good to go here.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
And already we can see some level 1 shenanigans here. The pinks are coming through here. Atomic has been spotted out and is now caught between a rock and a hard place. Has to pop the flash, still low HP though. Will get away from trouble here. And already level 1, these teams are looking to brawl it out here. And looking at the keystone, I see a Arcane Comet on Senny, so that is going to be the poke virus. Not too surprising here. I was thinking maybe you can get a heal blades as well, that could be working, but either way, it is the poke virus here. And it looks like SVW Esport are not done yet. They're gonna get the ward in, so Ranger will be on full vision at the start here. We'll actually be able to sweep that one away. But still, with the time in the game, they should be more than aware where Ranger is starting. At the same time, same can be said here for the Sinzhou. The missed E here is going to be pretty rough for Red Strike. Because now your ability is on cooldown, you're basically a melee minion. And Oakley can just poke away with the Aerie, backing up a little bit of damage here. Should be an early level 2 on the bot side of the map here, and already control for SVW. E comes back on cooldown though, Senny now stepping forward, but already you can see how aggressive this bot lane is on the side of SVW Esport. And they keep poking away, finally reaching that level 2. And I have to keep track of this flash timer from Atomic as well. Could potentially be a gank opportunity here for frontline if he wants to head towards the mid lane. He's now finishing up the wolves and is going to head towards the bot side of the map. And a lot of damage on the Senny here. He's going to catch the ball here from Oakley, dropping down to very low HP now. And already we can see these top laners brawling it out. The snip, snip, snip coming through to equal out the trade here, but a few punches coming back. And already both top laners dropping quite low here. Health potions now popping. And you can already see a significant CS lead building up here in the bot side of the map here. Red Strike now engaging, but Sandy doesn't have the HP bar to go for the follow-up. The Ignite ticking now on Oakley as well. Oh, Sandy, you have to be so careful. It's one auto attack. Kill does have the flash here, but still barrier up for Sandy, so feeling comfortable here. The engage is coming through here in the enemy jungle, and Ranger doesn't have the damage to deal with this. Has to flash away here, follow up here from frontline, but is now all alone. Still gets the first blood though, onto Ranger. That is jungle on jungle action, and the second kill available. It is going to pop here with help of Oakley. And that is early damage here, early gold secured for SVW. On the back of that bot lane aggression, and Sandy is now left alone, has to pop the barrier, but nowhere to go. Is gonna miss out on this massive wave of minions as well, falling behind in gold, falling behind in XP. This is a disaster here early on for Pandaric. And already we can see a 1.5k gold lead building up. This gank has to be it for some way back Nice seismic shove here for Toxic, but will he get out? That is the question. No mana is gonna make it very difficult, but the jungler is here on time, and Atomic is gonna get killed as well. Frontline is just everywhere where they need to be. Is going to go for the dive as well. Gets the kill and gets away with just a slither of health. What an absolute masterclass here from Frontline. What a moment to show up for your team in these important matches here. And for Pandaric, this is already disaster. 2.5k gold lead within 4 minutes. A 4-0 Xin Zhao. I don't think this game could have started any worse than it did at the moment for Pandaric. And they already rotated the bot lane up to the top side of the map, trying to build that advantage further. We'll have to see how they're gonna use kill. At the moment, Soap is having fun though. Being like, haha, AD carry Lamau. But Kill is gonna get nice damage here in the extended fight, so he's going to be completely fine on the top side here. And Oakley also now assisting, and a dive potential is definitely here. The Haymaker is gonna get used. The tower aggro is coming through, but it is not enough to get the kill. And another one coming through here for SVW Esport. Plates now up for grabs as well. At the same time, Cripple pushing in the bot side of the map. Teleport will be responded to here by Soap. And the bot lanes will now match in the top side of the map here. But the recalls are coming through. The Dragon up for takes in the bot side of the map here. So we're gonna have to see if this bot lane here is gonna join in for the Dragon fight, or will they make their way back to the top side? It's actually going to be a swap again. So Cripple going back to the top side of the map. Does have the teleport available here. That's important to note. So Senny and Red Strike still on the top side of the map here. Won't have that available. That means effectively only 3 players available for this Dragon fight here. So the recalls are coming through as well for Pandaric. But obviously SVW Esport, they're just ahead in the tempo right now. Their bot lane is already here. They can shove in this wave. They can get the vision control. And already this Dragon being started off. But I'm going to be completely honest with you here. Being this far down in the early game, you probably don't want to contest these Dragons anyway. So all in all, they can at least catch these waves underneath the tower. The Dragon will safely be secured here by SVW Esport on the back of that lane swap. A little bit of tempo advantage, yeah, that's going to make it very easy to secure this Dragon. Now the next objective on the map are going to be the Grubs here, spawning in the top side in just a minute. But in the meantime, a dive in the top side of the map. Cripple now being under pressure. The Snips is going through, but it's not enough damage here. So finally something going the way of Pandaric here. But the question is, will it be enough though? And you have to remember, even though that is a kill coming back for Pandaric, it wasn't for free. They still get the Mountain Dragon on the side for SVW Esport. So they still have to pay that price. But Soap can now at least have a moment of freedom here, clearing out these waves. Gets himself a kill as well. We'll get his recall interrupted though. That's always a bit annoying when that happens. You're like, oh, god damn it, man, I gotta walk all the way back here. Losing all this precious time here, and now you kind of want to stay because the wave is already crashing in your tower. So, yeah, just frustrating for Soap here. We've all been there. And with the grub spawning here, it is just 3 grubs here. And you can already see SVW Esport, they're very much on time here, on tempo. With these rotations on the map, the lane assignments perfectly aligning with the objectives spawning on the map. And it's mainly centered around this bot lane, just being available around those objectives, making sure they don't miss out on any waves, and that they keep the minion waves pushed into the enemy tower. And now that the objectives are down, I want to see how SVW Esport are going to keep pushing this lead that they have right now. And they basically leave Cripple alone in the bot side, feeling pretty confident about it. And Soap in the meantime having a bit more of a tough time here. It's gonna use the Haymaker early, but that's kind of the only defensive tool you have in your toolbox. So That is a free dive. The heal does have to be used here, as frontline drops quite low. But all in all, a very clean executed dive here. And now they're trying to return the favor on Gripple, but it's just a bit more difficult here. You don't have that same damage. And you're already too late to the play here. Cripple, I mean, just has to stay alive now. Toxic is also around. And the nails will be used here by Cripple to go for an engage. But it's a 2 versus 4. So they don't really want to continue this fight. Really, the flash will be used here for Cripple to get to safety. But this is 2 members from SVW Esport basically keeping 4 members from Pandaric busy, burning their ultimates, and they get nothing back for it, Pandaric. Now that the backup has arrived, Pandaric no longer have interest in this fight. So all in all, a successful dive in the top side for SVW Esport. And they prevent the dive from happening on the bot side of the map here. Soap still very potent here on the set, as you can see. And I feel like the hopes of Pandaric are resting on this set here. Who's going for the dive? He's gonna get the solo bolo in the top side of the map and just barely lives to tell the tale as well. And that is exactly what Pandaric needs here if they want to make a comeback. They need to play around this set somehow. And in the meantime, Ranger dropping low here. The calling coming through from Gil. Gets away as well. Now Red Strike underneath danger zones. Red Strike is joining in. The barrier has to be popped here. But Red Strike, your AD carry can't really assist here. Still the poke available. But it won't be enough damage. And Red Strike is feeling the damage from Kill, who is absolutely dominating on this Lucian. And yes, Sunny is just left alone underneath the tower. You can flash all you want. But the result will stay the same. Kill absolutely massive on this Lucian. And the lead keeps growing here for SVW Esport. The dragon spawning soon as well. And you are really hoping that Soap here on the top side of the map can mean something to his team. He's trying his best here on the set pick, the counter pick in the top side. And Ranger is once again coming over for a little bit of assistance. But can they go for the dive? That is the question. No one will be there to assist Cripple in the meantime. And Eric already giving up the dragon. They know they can't contest it. Red Strike is now coming over as well. The Hallowed Mist already used here. So that's going to be nice. And this duo ready for the dive here. Atomic has to be careful on the other side of the map though. Soap now taking quite a significant amount of damage here. The Xenoblade missing from the Leona, but it doesn't matter. The dive is successful here. And Ranger gets himself a kill. Now Atomic alone on the bot side of the map here. Some plates coming the way here as well. Toxic finally able to respond to the top side of the map here. Soap now trapped underneath the tower. Will be taken down here. A little bit too greedy here. And the dragon will still be taken the way for SVW Esport as well as the plates here as Atomic. He can't really overstay this and he's a bit scared he's gonna get dove as well. But he'll finally decide to just roll with it and will not be punished as Frontline will be taking down the Drake in the meantime. Cullen now coming through for a bit more poke. And this dive here is looking very potent. Frontline has to be very strong. The teleport is coming through. Will that decide against this dive? It doesn't seem to be the case, and Frontline might pay the price for it as the tower is still alive. Finally gets taken down, but too late. There's a lot of damage has already come through, and Soap here is finally into the action. Can finally say something about this game, but Cripple has arrived as well. 3 versus 3, and Atomic is already low HP. Kill still alive. 6-0 on this Lucian. Does a lot of damage here, and the escape route is going cut off here. Sunny now assisting his teammate is gonna go for the melee range to deal with Cripple and the Hallowed Mist, and will finally take them down. So many low HP members for Pandaric, but they get the kill and they get out. Kill is looking for anything in return here. And maybe he gets Sunny, but Dokli also dropping low, so is Kill. And Pandaric, they finally get something going on at the bot side of the map here. A sliver of hope here. as they fight their way out of trouble. That fight could not have been any closer. Okay, Ranger. Doesn't want to go for the engage there. And they're looking for this dive here in the mid lane. Weaver's Wall available as well for Toxic if he wants to use that. They don't want to overcommit here, and instead they're going to look towards Atomic on the top side of the map. The Herald now spawned as well. So once again this split map here, and Atomic has been dealt the short end of the stick here and is going to feel the pain of this Xin Zhao. Flash does have to be used, but the kill comes in either way, and now the tower will be the follow-up as well. Can Pandaric match the success here on the other side of the map here? That is a question. The Hello Mist coming through her and causing a bit of trouble. But Ranger should be able to get out, just barely. So basically, kills matched on both sides of the map and the towers as well. But there will be a bounty added on top of that here for Pandaric. So overall they should be relatively fine, but they will miss out on a big minion wave there on the top side of the map, which is always a bit of a stinker. And then the Herald should be picked up as well. Now Soap looks to be cut off from his team. Once again, just staying just a little too long here. And we'll just look to give over the kill to the Milio. And we'll be able to do so successfully. So yeah, on the bright side, it's good to see that even though Pandaric fell behind very, very far in the early game, they're still being proactive, they're still trying the match here and are going for proactive plays on the map. But because they're so far behind, it's just so difficult, and the objectives keep going the way of SVW Esport. And they keep chunking down this mid tower as well, which will finally drop here. Sandy dropping so low from the culling here. Will get away now, is going to be able to hit the poke as well to kill, but it's just not enough damage this early on. And the next dragon spawning here in just over 40 seconds. There could be a soul point already for SVW Esport, and that's pretty early on into the game as well. And you can see Pandaric are just struggling keeping up here with SVW Esport, and it makes sense when you're this far behind, right? Now they don't have vision either, Soap may be in trouble here as the engage comes through for frontline. The Weaver's Wall coming here as well, and Soap is gonna bring Toxic into the team here, and that's a free kill here for Pandaric. Now Dokley maybe out of position as well here. Pandaric, maybe this is the fight they've been looking for. The resets are coming through for the Viego, who can finally get to work in these team fights. Red Strike now dropping low, will be taken down here. The teleport is coming through for Soap, who has in the meantime recalled and gotten his HP back into this fight. Cripple dropping low now as well. Kill in the backline, still firing away though. Is a dangerous prospect to deal with, but now left on is Lonesome. And Pandaric, they finally find this fight, even though they're behind. They get away with it, they stop the soul point. And Soap has been the bright side here for Pandaric in this game. And even Atomic, honestly, like, he has been in a very tough spot here, having to play the weak side of the map quite often. Being threatened these dives time and time again. Yeah, he has died 2 times, sure, but he's done well in these skirmishes for his team. Now let's see if they can continue this success. The gold deficit is still 3k. So SVW Esport still in a relatively comfortable position, but they can kind of feel this game slipping out of their fingers here. And once again, Atomic alone on this weak side here. Does have Red Strike to back him up in case they go for a dive. Weaver's all coming through now. And they're looking for this dive, but they can't quite find it. And they're wasting resources on this. They do get the jungle camps here, taking those away from Ranger. But look at Pandaric, they're going for the collapse here maybe. Vision available here as well, Blastcon used to get away. And the Atacon now available on the map as well. Yeah, the annoying thing is, like, if you fall behind, good teams will just take control over your jungle. You can already see this vision being set up here. Now, at the moment it won't matter that much because the Atacon on the bot side of the map here. So no real objectives around that top side. But yeah, you know, at any point they can just set up these traps in the jungle here of Pandaric. And that is always something very dangerous to go up against, especially against Italia, who can just seismic shove you in, chunk out all your HP, and then you're just a free kill, right? Now they're just repeating the same process on the other side of the map here, but Pandaric, they are defending their jungle, and they're doing it very well. Now Kill is dead as well, that's Delusion gone, that is all your damage, and now Frontline is trapped alone. This is Pandaric once again walking away with this team fight. How do they keep getting away with it? It's like this gold deficit is not even there, they don't care, because Soap is here, and he is smacking them in their face. The Atacon is right there for the taking as well, and somehow Pandaric, they find their way back into this game. Pandaric are in the Gold League at the moment. They get 4 kills, they get the Atacon. How do they get away with this? They were 4k gold down in the early game. Right? It was like 4k gold in 4 minutes. And now they're in the lead. They have the Atacon. They have stopped the soul point. Cripple is trying his best to get something back on the map here, but will unfortunately be taken down here as well. Alright, the Mega, never mind, the Herald is right here. The taxi has arrived, but can they take it down? Oh, there we go, finally, but it's a little too late, unfortunately. So Cripple does get away here. The Uber arriving just on time. Oh, Sunny's recall interrupted here, but whose problem is that going to be? It looks like it's going to be SVW's Esports problem. Now Sunny taken down in the backline, Atomic dropping quite low as well, but the rest of the team is catching the kills here. As Ranger and Soap are having a field day on a Summoner's Rift here. And Cripple will finally be taken down as well. They thought they could catch off the carries of Pandaric here, but they're underestimating the damage of the Zed Viego duo. 7 and 4 on Soap and 6 and 4 on Ranger. I mean, the entire team composition of SVW Esport is basically Gwen and Xin Zhao saying, haha, your carries can't do damage to me because they're out of range. But Viego and Zed are like, I don't care, I'm gonna smack you in the face, this is exactly what I want to. And they're just having an absolute banger of a time right here. This is exactly what they want. And SVW Esport, they have to find solutions. They were so far ahead, they had the entire game in the palm of their hand. Full control over the entire map. They always had the tempo advantage, they always were first to objectives. No one was contesting them. They were able to counter the dives. Everything was smooth sailing. And now is all away. Can they recover from this? The culling is doing a lot of damage here. Ranger doesn't quite want to engage just yet. Soap in the meantime is shoving in that top wave here. Dragon has spawned in the meantime though. It's a 4 versus 5 at the moment. Soap does have the teleport available and will be popping that behind here. The showstopper is coming through here. And that is frontline being popped right away. Already dropping low and will be taken down. The reset's coming through right now. But the Soap, it will be dropping down in the meantime. Sunny is dropping low as well. So is Red Strike with Cripple. Can't quite finish the kills here. And Sunny stays alive in the meantime. Ranger is going reset after reset into a quadra kill. And Pandaric, they do it once again. They find the fight. Time and time again, they get away with it. The Dragon, now up for the taking as well. And what an absolutely amazing game, number 1 here. And I feel like at this point, like, how do you recover if you're SVW Esport, right? How do you recover from this? Like, you have lost complete control over this game. I feel like if you were to ask every single player on SVW Esport and you show them the game state 4 minutes into this game, they would probably all say this game is unlosable. Absolutely unlosable. And yet here we are, 25 minutes into the game and Pandaric are in the lead, but Ranger now caught away, has to flash out of dodge here, but the re-engage is there, the rest of Pandaric is there, and they catch off the AD carry Kill, who is so strong on his Lucian, now no longer present in this team fight. The Baron up for the taking as well. In the meantime, the mid push is coming through, the tower has dropped there, Cripple now being chased down here by Atomic and Sunny. The poke is coming through. The rest for SVW Esport are looking to support that top laner, finally gets out of dodge here, but full control in the jungle here for Pandaric. They get the vision control, they got the mid push as well. And SVW Esport, they're out of position to deal with this push coming through from Pandaric as they secure yet another tower here. More cash flowing into the pockets of Pandaric, and Soap has find some targets to deal with. But maybe a bit of more than he can chew. He's staying alive though, the Haymaker's coming through, and that's a lot of damage coming through onto the front line. But maybe it's a bit too far for Soap. He finally gets taken down. The seismic shot onto Sunny, and he is dead. Pandaric are now overstepping their welcome here in the mid lane. They got their towers, but they wanted more. They wanted to catch off SVW Esport on their return back to the base to defend the inhib tower. But it was a bit too much here. And the Baron is up for the taking as well. It looks like this game is flipped all over again. Can Pandaric do anything about this? They don't have their AD carry, they don't have their top laner, but they do have Ranger and Atomic still available. The Shockwave also available for Atomic. That could be a deadly tool in the toolbox for Pandaric. But Atomic, can he get in range? That is the real question. So much engage here, and there it comes onto Atomic, knocked up, already taken low, and he's finally shut down there. Ranger's still alive, though. He's gonna get the resets now. Will be using the Xin Zhao abilities, but can't quite find any more kills, and that is everyone from Pandaric shut down. On the bright side, the Baron won't be taken here at the moment for SVW Esport, but they might return to it. Sunny and Soap have returned to the Summoner's Rift, though, and it looks like we can all sigh a breath of relief here, as the Baron will be staying on Summoner's Rift with us for now. But this game might not be as over as we thought it was. The Dragon spawning in just 2 minutes here. And so we'll be pushing in that bot wave here. Does have the teleport available in just a little bit. The Baron's still up for the taking, and both teams already returning their ways to the Baron, securing their vision control. Toxic will be responding to that bot side push. Also having the teleport available makes a lot of sense, right? Sunny is alone here though, and does need to be careful. The Conic doing so much damage, and there we go. Sunny just gets popped like a balloon. And that might be a massive mistake here from Sunny, because the Baron is up for the taking now. And do Pandaric want to fight it? That is the question. It doesn't look like they want to. Soap is making his way over, and they finally get to this objective. The teleport is coming through here. Pandaric, they want to fight this. This could be the fight. This could be the game. 3k HP on this Baron. Now Ranger in the Baron pit here. A smite steal available if they want it. Soap in the middle of the pit there. Gets a double kill. And the Baron is going the way of SVW Esport. But who's going to win the fight there? Ranger now finally taken down as well. Red Strike still in the pit here. It's looking for some stuns, but can't quite find the kills here as his whole team has suddenly died as well. No damage available. And the rest of Pandaric, they're running away. They can't win the fight here. Not without their AD carry. They're missing that key component of damage. And it looks so good with a double kill from Soap. He literally soaked up so much damage on the set with the Haymaker. He is so good at that. But unfortunately, it's not enough here. Ranger unable to smite away the Baron as well. So that's going the way of SVW Esport. But already Dragon spawning in 5 seconds here. We are not slowing down this game. And what an absolute banger of a game we got on our hands here. 30 minutes in here, and this game could go either way here. Atomic so close to that death cap as well. As the teleport available is going to push in the top side of the map in the meantime. I don't know if Pandaric wants to fight for this. They don't already have the control in the jungle at the moment. Ripple and Dokley are taking that away here, but we have seen them overstay here a little bit before. Going too far for that vision control. And they can't make the same mistake again. They have the Baron buff to push in that bot wave, and they will do so. Kill now has arrived to the battlefield. Will be using that culling to drop Soap down to half HP. That is a lot of damage. Haymaker coming through, but the damage is returned to the Toxic. Can't quite finish the kill here. The poke from Red Strike, from Senny, not quite enough here. Red Strike now running away. Flash pop from Senny. And this looks disastrous from Pandaric. The wind becomes lightning, hitting onto Atomic as well. Is now running through the fields. Ranger now killed as well, and it's just the carries left standing. The Dragon up for the taking. But the Baron's still available. The tower is still standing. That is extra gold to be picked up by SVW Esport here. Teleport will be used by Cripple as well to assist in this siege here. And it's just Senny and Atomic who really have to stay alive here. I don't think they can fight for this. They will have to give up some of these towers. And that should be a bot lane inhibitor taken by SVW Esport as well. The death timer is still 10 seconds for Soap to come back. And it looks like SVW Esport, they will just be content with taking that inhibitor. And they're gonna set their sights on the Dragon now. And this is for Soul Point here. And it won't be contested either here, as the Dragon will basically be killed before Pandaric can even get there. So what is the response going to be here? Because SVW Esport, they kind of want to reset, right? They got so much cash into their bank accounts right now. They want to spend the cash. So a time for Pandaric here, a moment where SVW Esport are not on the map here. And Pandaric, they can kind of get their vision control. They can set up already before SVW Esport get there. So they're setting up in the top side jungle here. They're getting the vision control. And they're making sure Atomic is safe to push in his minion wave. And on the top side. But in the meantime, Red Strike is called off though. A little too far. The rest of his team can't assist here with the Weaver's Wall coming down. The idea was there. But SVW Esport, they were very fast to read into it. And they were not afraid to collapse here. And it seems like Pandaric were not really ready for the collapse to come through. Soap will respond with a tower on the bot side. So overall, a tower for a kill, not too bad here. But with that kill picked off onto Red Strike, what can SVW Esport find on the map themselves? Once they momentarily are in a 5 versus 4. And they can't quite find the siege on that tower, so... I mean, overall, money-wise, a W for Pandaric in the end there. I mean, obviously they lost the fight, they lost the Baron. It is Soul Point now for SVW Esport, so... In the big picture, SVW Esport have been doing very well for themselves in the last few minutes. And we have seen Cripple go for these jungle camps time and time again, just farming up, getting that CS per minute up, getting as much cash as you can. If you want to be a dangerous threat in the side lanes. Now with no objectives on the map here, both teams are kind of just dealing with the minion waves here, not really wanting to engage at the moment. Nice poke coming through, but the culling is coming right back at you, Sandy. The Weaver's Wall as well, but Toxic maybe a little too far. The shockwave comes through here, the poke, the piercing arrow, and it's enough to take down Toxic. We're going a little too far here. They thought they had the pick onto Sandy, but no, the rest of Pandaric is right there to support Sandy this time. The tail ends differently. Now luckily for SVW Esport, there are no objectives on the map at the moment. Baron spawning in 20 seconds though. Toxic will just be respawning, has the teleport available, that is a big one, right? Can join right into the fight if it were to happen, but the moment it looks like Pandaric not really interested in just speedrunning the Baron. One step, you're looking to push out both the top and mid wave, getting themselves some vision control in the area. As they set themselves up for this Baron, Cripple will be able to dash over the wall, gets to safety. Kill at the moment is at the red buff, is not available in this fight here, so it could be a dangerous engage here coming through from frontline. As he's taking up the damage, they can't quite fill the kills, but Soap is now isolated from the rest of the team here. The Showstopper coming through, doing a lot of damage, choking up a lot of damage, and Toxic gets taken down out of nowhere. There's so much damage from Soap. Finally, kill has arrived to the fight here. He's doing a lot of damage to Red Strike here, who can't quite handle it. And the rest of Pandaric, they have to run for the heals, because this Lucian is absolutely deadly. Ranger can't do anything about it. It's a triple kill coming through from Kill, who has arrived to the fight just in time. And there's nothing that this Viego can do to stop the onslaught from SVW Esport. They don't need the Baron anymore. Everyone from Pandaric is on the gray screen at the moment. The Nexus towers are falling and Ranger is all on his lonesome. Has to defend this, but there's no chance. And after 35 minutes, we finally crown ourselves the winner of game number 1. SVW Esport will take the first one in the series. And I don't know about you guys, but damn, what an absolute banger of a game number 1. This was an absolute roller coaster from beginning to end, and you know, it started off looking like a 20-minute FF type of game, but we went the full way, the full 35 minutes here, going back and forth between these teams, showing off in the team fights, and it looked so rough for SVW Esport in that mid game. They were so far ahead, and then they suddenly lost grip of the game completely. But then they find their way back into the game out of nowhere. And this Lucian from Kill has done wonders for them in the team fights, absolutely popping off as well. So huge shout out for them to find their way back into that game, because I can't imagine it being easy. Same can be said for Pandaric, to be honest. You know, if I'm down that far into the early game, I think most people in solo queue would have already surrendered. But with that being said, I'm gonna be right back a little bit here for a few minutes, cool down a little bit, get yourself a drink, go to the toilet, get a snack, you know, get ready for game number 2, because this is going to be an absolute banger, and I hope to see you there. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope you were able to take a little bit of a breather, get yourself settled for a game number 2, because if this one is going to be just as insane as game number 1, then I think we are in for a very wild ride here. And already the mid laners go on head to head here. The Syndra versus the Hui. Going to be an interesting matchup here. Both champions pretty good at just shoving out the way, so might just get more of the same, to be honest. We'll have to see how that one is going to pan out in the mid lane. The Xin Zhao and the Lucian this time both banned away. Can't really blame Pandaric for that one. Ban staying the same here for SVW Esport. And the Gwen's still available as well if they want to go back to that, but you know, Sub was doing pretty well for himself on the set, so might just want to stay away from that one for now. And then the Nocturne. I have not seen Nocturne in a long while here. Will be locked in here. And I mean, should be in the jungle, but you know, could be top lane, you never know. This Astro. Yeah, I think my cat wants to go in my room. I don't know if you can hear that, guys, but he's going sicko mode against my door at the moment. But I'm sorry, cat, it's draft time, you know, you gotta wait. Yeah, let's see. Okay, that is a Sunny special right there, but it's a bit bold picking that into the Astro, I'm not gonna lie. The Vayne coming through for Sunny. That is a Sunny special right there. A champion he likes to play. I think it fits his playstyle extremely well. Because you can really go for these crazy fights here in the team fight as well. But now what support are you going to use to pair up with the Vayne? The Karma Band makes a little sense here. Take away any support that can assist Astro in that poke power. But yeah, like I said, you know, playing against the Astro who can poke you down from far away and kind of deny you these fights all lane long can be difficult, but you know, once the Vayne gets into the range of the Astro and can stay on top of the Astro, she is going to shine. So you kind of want to support with some lockdown here to pair up with the Vayne. Something like a Nautilus could be very good, maybe. Or you could go for an Enchanter like the Luna that's now banned away. That is kind of a Sunny Red Strike special, so it makes sense to ban that away. We'll have to see which routes Pandaric are going to choose here. Could go for some survivability, or could go for more engage.
Or forget.
And a lot of picks here are still available. And now the ball is in Pandaric's court. And where will they leave the counter pick? That is the question. For Soap it makes a little sense, right? But could leave it to the support as well. And they're gonna pick the Nami here. Okay. So they are going the way of a bit of an Enchanter here. We'll be able to heal up some of the damage that the Astro can do. And also getting the slow from the E is kind of nice here for the Vayne. So overall, very nice support to pair up with the Vayne here. And there we go. Once again, the Gwen is coming through, but the Zed is still available as well. So can just repeat the same matchup from last game. Would make a lot of sense here for Pandaric if they want to do that. Or are we gonna get a Soap special and just go for the weak side here? Be the team player kind of guy? Or are we gonna get the set Soap that is going to absolutely dominate the lane? I'm kind of hoping for the set, and there we go, we get it. We get it locked in here. We get a repeat matchup here. Another chance for Cripple to maybe show off the Gwen in a bit of a better light. And hopefully this time around, Pandaric, they can kind of stay even early on, so that Soap doesn't have to absolutely go sicko mode into those team fights again and carry Pandaric in that early mid game. But at least if they get there, you know, the Sunny Vayne is going to be a lot more deadly than the Poke Forest, who kind of falls off in my opinion in the late game because the Poke just doesn't deal as much damage anymore. Especially if you have those skirmishers that will build up a little bit of armor and health as well. But yeah, obviously the Vayne providing a lot more DPS in those team fights. Also has a lot more survivability, a lot more potential to outplay, and I feel like that potential to outplay is very much something Sunny will appreciate coming into this game. Because that's just the way he plays, you know? He likes outplaying, he likes being fancy, he likes living on the edge of life, going for those aggressive fights here. And now does have Red Strike on an Enchanter. This is kind of the golden duo, golden standard here for this bot side. Red Strike on something that can support Sunny as an Enchanter, and then Sunny just goes sicko mode on something like a Vayne, like a Sivir, like a Kog'Maw, you know, those type of champions that can go absolutely crazy in the team fights. That is what he likes to play. So good to see that back in the hands of the Pandaric bot lane. Now obviously it's going to be a bit of a tough bot lane here. You're gonna have to definitely not get hooked here by the Nalbas, because that can be very dangerous here. Yeah, I mean, having the range advantage is also going to be a thing. You know, a lot of poke coming through from his Astro, and the Syndra also having a lot of range here. You have the Nocturne ultimate that can always go for those engages. That's always a thing to keep track of, especially that first Nocturne ult. You really want to have some success on the back of that and get snowballing as the Nocturne, because it becomes a bit more difficult in the late game here, especially when you're playing against a Zed and a Jarvan, who can be very annoying to deal with. For mid lane, I kinda expect the same thing coming through, you know, just both laners just farming, staying underneath their tower. They will just, you know, they will trade and stuff and poke each other out, but I don't expect too much going on there. Maybe if the junglers get involved, right? Maybe Ranger can go for a gank here. The immobile Syndra will be a prime target for the Cataclysm and forcing out those flashes. But other than that, I don't expect too much happening around the mid lane. We already got a preview of what the top lane matchup can bring, so expecting the same amount of action there. And maybe both junglers being involved yet again. And then we just have to hope that the bot lane of Pandaric will be able to perform a bit better early on this time around. Because that was a pretty rough last game early on. Now obviously Pandaric were able to bring it back, but kind of hope to see what they can bring to the table if they don't fall behind so far in the game and have to give up every single objective, because the fights they were able to get in that mid game were really, really good. And then, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it fell kind of apart in the late game. Some unfortunately pickoffs and just greeting a little bit too much. But, you know, without further ado, my game is loading up at the moment. So let's just sit back and enjoy an absolute classic game of League of Legends here. Because it should be an absolute banger of a game yet again. I mean, I would be disappointed if this game it will not, you know, be an absolute roller coaster of a game yet again. But in the meantime, in the chat, who do you think is going to win, Pandaric or SVW Esport? Will they take it 2-0 or will it be another 1-1? Pandaric have been going for the 1-1s quite a lot this season, so... And let's not forget that, once again, this game is going to be very important when it comes to staying alive in this division for Pandaric.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Because there is always an opportunity to drop down to the relegations. But we're gonna have to keep track of that. Sunny will be able to spot out this. We're already engaged here. The flash hook coming through from Dokli, but will be dodged away by. So already the flash forced away by Sunny. And honestly, you know, you have the Hex Flash here for Dokli as well, so still some opportunities for this Nautilus to find hooks in the laning phase, and now no longer the... let me remove my chat before I get spammed in chat. Before I get... sorry, before the Vayne can actually flash away, right? So let's keep track of this flash timer from Sunny. Now, unfortunately, the Nocturne not as potent here in the early game when it comes to ganking. We'll just like to go for the power farming, get level 6 as soon as you can. And this level 1 is going to be very important as well. Dokley now pressuring forward here. The hook is going to hit on the Nami, so that's a positive sign there. The Ignite popping now into Senny, who's going quite lower. Underneath the tower, that was dangerous for Dokley. That is going too far. That's first blood for Senny. That is a massive blunder. The barrier's coming through. That's a double kill. Oh no. Oh dear. That is... I can see the vision, you know. Senny dropping so low. The Ignite already popped. But yeah, that was definitely a little bit too far here from Dokley. That tower dealing so much damage level 1. The barrier is still available for Sandy. Maybe that was not really thought about by the bot lane of SVW Esport. You know, you see that low HP bar, you think, ooh baby, no flash on the Vayne, let's get this freebie. And then you kind of forget, oh yeah, barrier. Hold on here, set, or soap on the set on the soap. Smacking left, right, boom! Solo kill, and this set is going back for dominance. And this time around, Pandaric looking a lot more potent in the early game here. I mean, we're getting game 1 all over again, but the question is, now the gold lead is in the hand of Pandaric. Can they show us how it's done, how they can cleanly close out the game here? Because last time around, we know what happened. It wasn't clean, not clean at all. It should have honestly been a Pandaric win here, but some small fumbles there in the end here cost them big time. Now the gold lead is in the hand of Pandaric. It's 800 gold early on. Maybe a bit more as Dokley maybe caught off guard here, but never mind. We'll be able to walk away. Yeah, now the gold lead in the hand of Pandaric. Can they snowball the same way that SVW Esport did? That is going to be the big question here. Kill being left alone in the bot side of the map here. We'll be fine here. Not a lot of dive potential here on the Senny Nami duo, obviously, but so can just farm from a range here with the Mystic shots. Oh, Toma, I guess be careful here. Dropping quite low, but so is Toxic, so these mid laners not afraid to go head to head against each other. You can kind of see here, when you start running out of minions here, don't have any cover for those Mystic shots, it's really difficult for the Vayne to contest in the lane. Hex slash hook hitting here on the third strike, but already Senny stepping forward. That's the 2-0 Vayne here. Kill has to be careful, and we know Senny is not afraid to continue this chase, to continue going forward, but the Ignite is popping now, and Senny maybe going a little bit too far here. The barrier will be popping here as well. Low HP, and they get away with another kill here. Both bot laners for Pandaric just barely holding on here. Unfortunately for Soap, he will be surrounded on the top side of the map here. So the gank working out here for SVW Esport. They find something back here. Senny, in the meantime, has healed up a little bit from the heals from Red Strike. Be more than happy to go for a chase down in the lane. It will not be given to him. Dokley has respawned in the meantime, and frontline already level 5 now, so that is going to be scary here for the Pandaric bot lane. They takes over to level 6. It could be lights out. Oh, Dokley going a bit too far again. Now Atomic looking for a fight there, but frontline is assisting as well. The stun is going to be hitting the Scatter the Weak perfectly. Now summoned up with a Sphere as well, but Atomic gets away to safety. Flash will be forced though, so that could be a potential return gank here. Scatter the Weaker and then flash forward here. The orb's coming through from the ultimate, but Red Strike is there at the perfect moment. And just like that, excuse me, Atomic just goes all chat, get the baited son. Soap now maybe in trouble here. The Haymaker still available. Will be using that. Not in the sweet spot though. And Dokley arriving on the perfect moment just as their counterpart. So kills go in either way here. Dragon will be picked up here though by Pandaric on the other side of the map here. Knowing that Dokley will not be available for that fight. So overall Pandaric will be relatively happy with this. And we do have to remember, like last time around, we saw how dangerous this Zed is going to be in the late game teamfights, how much chaos you can create on this champion. And now imagine you have a Wei who has so much range here. The Paranoia is coming through here onto Soap. Hold on. The Haymaker still available, but once again won't be hitting quite as he would like to. Oh, the Showstopper, or excuse me, not the Showstopper, but we'll get the stun onto frontline. And it will be enough to at least get the return kill. Crucial Barrage coming through for a little bit of poke here. Now what can Ranger do on the bot side of the map here? That is going to be the question here, as he's going for the flank here. The rest of Pandaric, they're ready to take his kills. They don't even need Ranger, to be honest. Sunny dropping a little bit low here, but we'll be fine here as the Cataclysm comes through. And it is a free double kill picked up here by Ranger. No troubles there. Nice pullback there from Atomic. Has had a few games of Wei underneath the belt here. And now Sunny should be able to get at least one plate for himself. So feeling pretty confident here on the Vayne. 3 kills early on. And like I said, the Zed was very dangerous in those teamfights last game around. This time around, imagine a Vayne on top of that, who will be free firing in the backline. Going to be a lot more scary than the Poke Varus in that scenario. And then imagine you also have the Zevering Bolt coming through from the Wei. A lot of range on that champion now. Red Strike in trouble though, not as tanky, quite squishy even. Unspeakable Horror is going to fear him down, lock him down, and that is a free pickup here on the side from SVW Esport. Now can they convert it in anything else? Sunny is now left alone, doesn't have the support anymore. And the Paranoia is almost up here. That could be Terror. The Snip's already poking him down. The Teleport is coming through, but it's too late here. The Paranoia will be taking down Sunny. Teleport is still coming through, so that could be dangerous for Soap here. The Facebreaker used now. The Haymaker will be blocked away with the Spell Shield, but not enough for the Showstopper here as he smacks down the Nocturne underneath the floor. Cripple taken down as well. Dokley now running for the hills. Sebasco unavailable, so that is going to be nice. Gets away out of dodge there. Red Strike doing his best to keep the minions there for Sunny. Alright, already a lot of action here in the early game. And yeah, this Vayne is doing quite well, and Pandaric is doing quite well in the kill department. But then you look at the CS, and they're kind of falling behind here in the top side and in the AD carry position. That range helping the Ezreal a lot, so it's going to even out the scoreline quite a lot here. The objectives being split even as well, so still enough opportunities here for SVW Esports to get into this game here, as they're actually ahead in gold at the moment, even though they're down 5 kills. Kraken Slayer now also completed for Sunny is going to be very difficult to deal with, and Soap is gonna lose the tower in the top side. Can he do anything about it? Oh, the Flash Dredge line here onto Atomic is gonna lock him down. And just like that, a kill picked up here. Ranger trying to get the return kill here. A lot of CC to get him away though. The Cataclysm will be used. And yeah, just like that, no flash available for Toxac. Should be a return kill at the bare minimum here. And oh, Soap would have wanted that one. He was begging to get that kill. But no, it will be the jungler taking that. Paranoia now used as well. We'll be headed towards Soap here, who is dropping low. The Haymaker not enough to stay alive, unfortunately. And his Nocturne pick has been working out absolutely beautiful for SVW Esport. not mistaken, every single... Oh, hold on, our kill might be in trouble, but no. A lot of tower damage coming through, so Pandaric, they don't really want to go for the follow-up underneath the tower. So instead content with just a poke. And now the dragon available as well, as both teams are looking for some vision control. Frontline maybe going a bit too far here, but does have the spell shield available to get out of dodge there. The dragon started off now by Cripple and the rest of his team. Sani now face tanking here. Depths from below will be coming here onto Sani, who is now going for the final hour here. Will it be enough though? Still taking down Cripple here, still alive, but a little too close here. Snip, 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 and Sani is gone. And that is the Fat Fane here on the side of Pandaric here. Ranger now all left on his lonesome. The Cataclysm coming through, looking down a lot of targets here with the Molten Fissure here from Atomic. A lot of damage here, double kill here by the way. Tidal Wave used here. Toxic will dodge out of the way here. Dodging the Fear as well. And that's cooldowns here for the way. And a free pickup for Frontline.
Turret plating will soon fall.
And 13 minutes in, we got 23 kills on the Rift already. And we can safely say that it's definitely an action-packed game here. With both teams looking for fights across the map here. Crash line will be missed out here by Dokui. But that should be a free tower here for Cripple. It looks like Pandaric can't really match it on the map though, so gold going the way here of SVW Esport. And now Pink's on the top side of the map here, as they might set their sight on that tier 2 tower. Paranoia not available just yet for Frontline, but will be coming up relatively soon here. And so started off pretty well, but some visits from that Nocturne made it quite dangerous for him. And now Cripple on the bot side of the map here, maybe called out here, going for that Scuttle Crab here, as the rest of Pandaric is now grouping up onto Cripple. And yeah, no escape available. Will be a shutdown here headed into the hands of Sani. Will be traded here for the Herald on the top side of the map here. And what else can Pandaric find in the meantime? And the answer seems to be a botlane tower by Atomic. So overall I think Pandaric pretty happy with that shutdown into the hands of Sani and a botlane tower. Solo golden experience for the way. It's always going to be nice for the carries. But Paranoia now used, and Sani is just deleted, overstaying his welcome. Now the Herald available for SVW Esport will be able to pop that into the mid lane. Pandaric no interest in defending this, don't really have the manpower, so instead Ranger will be escorting his mid laner. This could potentially be 2 towers here, and that's very massive for SVW Esport. Getting all that cash into their pockets on top of the kill on Sani. Ranger now coming from behind, but who is flanking who? That is a question. Teleport coming through now as well. Ranger no longer wants to fight it, but Soap has other plans here. He's going face forward into the enemy team here, but maybe a bit more than he can chew. Has to flash out of dodge here. Sandy finally arrived here, popping the final hour in the backline here. Ranger dropping low, has to flash away. Sandy's still alive. They get the kill onto kill. Looks like now still locked down here, actually. Will be taken down. The flag and drag coming through, and that's a kill for Atomic. And just like that, 2 kills here for Pandaric. Punishing the overstaying from SVW Esport in their jungle. Still overall 2 towers picked up in the mid lane. Not too bad here for SVW. Dragon now spawning in 20 seconds as well here. Pandaric will quickly look to push in that mid lane wave and then group up with their jungler to get some vision control. And already Red Strike and Atomic are right onto that. They leave Sandy to the mid wave. Once again getting that solo XP and gold here. The bubble perfectly onto Dokley is gonna force out the flash here. That is always nice here. The paranoia is up though, so they have to be careful. The pull in from Atomic will be missing. And they're really looking to fish with this paranoia. They know where the Nocturne is though, so that's always going to help here. Teleport coming through from Soap. The paranoia will be used onto him, but no really follow-up. So Soap will be fine in the meantime. The flag and direct coming through the Cataclysm as well onto the carry here. Toxic lockdown, but in the meantime, Zanny is free firing on the bot side of the map here. Will be fine, picking up 2 kills here. Is there any follow-up? Soap still alive here. Can they get the face breaker? He actually still has the Soul Stopper as well. Will be dropping that onto Toxic, who is now running away together with their jungler. Scatter the Weak is perfect onto Atomic here, and they will grab that kill onto Atomic. Sandy still alive though. And they will just head their way towards the dragon. However, no jungler available here, and Frontline still alive as well. So is Toxic, who does a lot of damage. No longer has the unleashed power. It can still poke from a distance here. Those orbs deadly as ever. Scatter Weak coming through, and there it is. The Smite Steel just like that walks in and says thank you very much. Can Pandaric do anything about it? Seems like no, because they're dropping low HP. Dokley will be going forward, but already Ranger back in action. Will save his team from absolute disaster, but I mean the dragon will be handed over to SVW Esport. Uh-oh. Yep, Toxic had a feeling. And, well, sometimes you gotta trust your gut feeling here, but Ranger will maybe have to pay the price here. We'll be able to just flag and drag away, so True Shot Barrage coming through now. The Needlework will be activated as well. Ranger dodging out, weaving. But where do you go? Another flag and drag, but the needles will poke your back. And that will be a kill here. The Atakan available as well, with the jungler down. That is a juicy opportunity maybe. And already the pinks on the Sandy, the paranoia available. You can see the thought process here behind SVW Esport. They got the jungler down, they just need that one more pick to secure themselves the Atakan. You have the paranoia available. You just need to find the target, and that is what you're looking for in Pandaric. They might give them the target, as Soap is running face forward here, looking to take down Cripple with the rest of the team here. Sani now coming from behind as well, might be exposed to this paranoia as coming through, but Soap already finds a kill onto Cripple here, but here comes the re-engage. The Scatter the Weak available for the Cinder as well. That is a double stun down here onto the carry and Red Strike. Sani still alive, but barely. Will be feared down, and his Nocturne is dangerous. Flash away from Sani to safety, and is still alive, still kicking in the backline, and kill can't find finish off Sani, and just like that, Pandaric, they're just barely alive, but they get out of the team fight with exactly what they need. Can't quite finish off the Atakan though, which they would have really liked. And Dokley is stepping too far forward. The Cataclysm is coming through from Toxic. And just like that, they pick up 2 more kills. And now this Atakan is free for the taking. And that is a big mistake coming through from Dokley. Stepping just a little too far forward. Because I think if it wasn't for those 2 extra kills, they would not have gone for that Atakan. But finding them kind of opens up the way. And yeah, frontline, he was able to use the paranoia onto Sunny like intended, but there was no real follow-up anymore. And that is because Soap and Ranger are causing so much chaos in his backline that it is very difficult for any of the damage healers to follow up with frontline onto Sunny. And once Sunny gets to safety, he basically just gets to kill frontline for free. And then, yeah, sure, maybe they kill Atomic, maybe they kill Ranger. You know, you get some kills back, but you lose so much of your power, your health, trying to kill them. You have to use your abilities and stuff. By the time those fights are over, Sunny will just basically get more free kills, because you have no abilities to take him down. You just used all of them onto Ranger and Soap. And in the extended fight, Sunny just does so much damage on this Vayne. Atomic now maybe in trouble. The snip, 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 and the kneel work. Maybe enough here. Yep, Flash coming forward. Cripple takes the solo bolo onto the Hui. Pink's coming through instantly. You can see the response. They're ready to take down this bot side jungle of Pandaric, taking full control over it. Soap maybe in trouble, has to go for the recall, but the sweeper is coming through, and there we go. The paranoia now to follow up. Soap, can you stay alive? That is the question. Will be stunned down. Depth charge available will be used. Soap flashing away to safety, but would it be quite safe enough? The Haymaker now buying some more time here, but would it be enough? The rest of the team now available. Heal will be popped as well, and maybe a little too far here. Soap taking up so much damage, and the set is just such a good pick for Soap here. Has to be so instrumental in taking up so much damage, forcing so many resources from SVW Esport to try and take him down, and even then they can't quite find that kill. Oakley maybe recalling a bit too far forward now, and the team not really wanting to save the support now, because that will put them in danger as well. Some scattered weeks coming through, but Sunny picks up yet another free kill here. Now Toxic might be in danger, but Sunny doesn't kind of want to follow up on that, so Toxic does get away here. Now the response maybe onto Atomic, but is very aware of the danger, so gets to safety. As they regain control over the mid lane here. As the rest of Pandaric assists their mid laner. And they can safely go back to farming minion waves, because that's your job. Dragon will be picked up here in the meantime, on the back of that pickup on the bot side. And I mean, come on man, like, the Dragons are 2-2 again. The gold is relatively even. We're just getting game 1 here without the Mega Stomp in the early game. But this time we have Sunny on an 11-free Vayne. And that is a very dangerous prospect. You need to have the coordination with the paranoia. You need some follow-up on that, because just a Nocturne is not gonna kill the Sunny. You know, he has Slash, he has Barrier, he has a Nami support right by his side with heal as well. So just a Nocturne is not gonna be enough. You need a Gwen on top there as well. You need a Syndra coming through, getting the Scatter Weak in, getting the Unleash power in. But that might be a bit difficult here, because you need to be in range here. Toxic now maybe caught off guard here. Will they have to flash out to safety? And hello there, free AD carry. Hoppate, let's go. Smack it in the face, and just like that, kill is being taken down. Double kill for Sunny underneath the tower. In the meantime, Cripple will just have to continue his warpath in the bot side of the map here, taking down towers one at a time. It looks like Soap will be responsible to dealing with that, and in the meantime the Baron will be taken here by Pandaric. Not much that SVW can do against it. I mean, unless we get a Smite Steal here, you have to go in right now. Would they have the moment here, and it's gonna be the Smite Steal! Another one, another Smite fight. One out by Frontline. And Ranger has to be kicking himself here. The Gwen still here in the bot side. Doesn't want to force the issue on the inhib tower with the Baron. Oh, but this can't be happening. Not right now. You find the fight, you find the free Baron, but you let the Nocturne close enough to the pit that he can just paranoia right in to secure it. Now the good thing is, Your late game is still going to be super fine. The Gwen might be an issue at some point, right? She's very dangerous in the side lanes. But I feel like SVW Esport, they need to find an answer to this thing. That might be a bit of a problem here. The Astro is lacking behind a bit as well. We also have the 2-item combination now complete, so that poke still is gonna hit quite well. But obviously compared to this Vayne, who is going absolutely rampant here, maxing out on that attack speed, the DPS is going to be super high. It's going to be difficult to match that. But as the game goes on, that gold lead will matter less and less. And yeah, like you mentioned, Larry, the Syndra late game is very dangerous as well, especially once the death cap comes out. And hold on, Red Strike now in danger. Those have to flash away. But yeah, the scaling onto the Syndra is no joke either. And Sandy finding that paranoia comes through. But where is the follow-up? Once again, the fear will be there. The depth charge comes in as well. But Sandy's still alive, still kicking. The unleash power is not enough to finish off the Sandy. And he is alive, kicking, still going. And Gil gets stunned, condemned into the Cataclysm. The combo is there. Sandy is alive. I don't know how he survives everything that comes at him. But once again, the fight goes the way of Pandaric. And they throw everything at this man and he's still alive. Sandy building some of those defensive items, really saving his ass right there. He didn't even have the barrier up that fight. So, another shield ready. Can Pandaric finish the game now? I mean, 5 seconds onto Dokley right here. Just frontline up right now. Another 15 for the carries to respawn. Will that be enough time here? Do we have the Baron up main still? Slow down the siege from Pandaric here, but those Nexus towers, they won't be standing for much longer here, and this is the moment where you have to fight back, you have to do something, and Dokley is trying so hard, but the Nexus now exposed. Sandy's still kicking, still going, the barrier popped here, the Nexus dropping low, Sandy finally drops, but it won't be enough, because it comes at the cost of your own Nexus, and Pandaric come back with a classic 1-1 scoreline, just as intended here, because that seems to be the script of the season. GG's to SVW Esport, well played to all of the players in the server. What a banger of a game. I hope you guys had fun in the chat as well. Hopefully you enjoyed the cast and the games. I mean, the games were a banger. I mean, can't be disappointed on that one, that's for sure. So, yeah, I hope you guys had a good time. We finish off with another 1-1 here. And as for the rest of the season, there still has to be some games played here. But for Pandaric, I think we finish off on a 6-8, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we will finish off on a 6-8 here. So that should put us in a very safe spot here. But, I mean, honestly, we'll have to see. I think, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, so Ike's is playing against a woman army in just a few minutes as well. And both those teams are below us at the moment. So I think that means we are safe from relegations, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think we're safe from relegation because Melkma will be finishing the season of 4-10. So they will be in relegation regardless. And I don't think both teams can get to 6 games, right? So we will be safe from the relegation. I don't think we can make the playoffs anymore. So that means this should be the end of the season for us, if I'm not mistaken. I might be incorrect on that, but just quickly looking at the schedules and the scores and stuff, I think this is the end of the season for Pandaric, which means we will be returning to Division 3 next season. And honestly, I feel like that is a pretty good place for Pandaric, right? Because if I'm correct again, it has been a few years that I've been casting Pandaric, so forgive my memory a little bit. We started off in Division 6, then Division 5, then Division 4, then Division 3, or maybe we started Division 5, I'm not quite sure. But basically, what I'm trying to get at is that we were speedrunning our way up the divisions, right? And obviously at some point, you're gonna meet your peak, right? Your plateau, your level that you're at, and it seems like Division 3 is right there, because we can handle ourselves here, right? We won some games, we went 1-1 in a lot of these games, but we can't quite push ourselves to the playoffs here. So we find ourselves at a very good level here where we can learn, where we can grow and get better at the game. And hopefully the players can take some learnings from these games to improve for next season. But it is clear from the way that they have been like grinding the previous seasons and I've been going up division after division, that they do definitely belong in Division 3 here at the moment, and they deserve this place. So nice for them to not have to deal with the relegation series, right? I can imagine that is a lot of stress on your shoulders. So, you know, hopefully the players can take some learnings, like I said. And next season, let's see if we can make those playoffs, right? That is the dream, I would say. But for now, this is going to be it for me for this season, right? No more games for Pandaric, as far as I know. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it in the chat, and I will hopefully see you guys next season again. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this cast, and I will say have an absolutely amazing day, and hopefully on to the next one. Bye bye.